Hi, this is Chandrasekhar Prabhu once again reporting to you on the latest happenings in Mumbai. Thank you for your response. A lot of you have written to me to make a post on Dharavi and its redevelopment. I have had a long association with Dharavi for over 20 years, and I have known the people of Dharavi quite closely. I could go on and on about what should happen in Dharavi, but first, before finding a solution to Dharavi, let us understand what happens in Dharavi. Dharavi is not just a slum like any other slum, because most slums have residences. People go there in the evening after a hard day's toil to sleep. However, Dharavi is a place where you stay and you work as well. We all know that the Kumbharwada provides all the pots and the diyas, the lights, the lanterns to the entire city. A major portion of the papads which go all over the country are made in Dharavi. A lot of exports of leather work are made in Dharavi. Ready-made garments are stitched in Dharavi. Edible items like farsan, like fafdas, and a lot of things which are for edible use are made in Dharavi. In the latest Diwali, we had all the goodies that you distribute at Diwalis, including the laddus and jalebis which are made in Dharavi. There is a shoe industry in Dharavi where a lot of good chappals and shoes are made in Dharavi. So it is not just a residence but also a place of work. The lady of the house goes to the center for making papad, brings the dough at home where she cooks for her family. She also makes the papad. She takes the makeshift bed which she uses for sleeping in the night and places it outside under the sun, spreads her sari above the bed and puts the papad on top and covers the papad with the remaining part of her sari to ensure that the crows don't eat the papad. The sunlight does the remaining and the papads get dried. In the evening, she collects the papads and goes to the center and gets her daily wage for working hard. If we give them a house on the 6th floor or the 8th floor or the 10th floor of a building, how is she going to make a livelihood? The entire bananas which come to the city of Mumbai have to be first ripened. So there are rooms in Dharavi where on the floor the people sleep and there are strings attached to the ceiling on which dozens of bananas are kept tied to knots. They ripen there, and as they ripen, the guy comes with a handcart and takes the bananas and goes round to sell it. So Dharavi is the service center for the city. And if we think in terms of just giving them houses, it's not going to be enough. They may well even sell the houses and go back to an accommodation where they can have their source of livelihood. So a design for the Dharavi has to be done. Planning for Dharavi has to be made. And Dharavi has a peculiar demography and a kind of living wherein there are nagars. There is the Anna Nagar where the South Indians live. There is another Nagar where the potters live. There is a third Nagar where those dealing with leather live. There is a fourth Nagar where the fruit market is there. There is another Nagar where the fish is put together. There is a Kolivada within Dharavi. There is a Agri colony within Dharavi. So each one has its own neighborhood, has its own problems, and they are very close knit amongst each other. So to think in terms of one mega project wherein everyone gets put together under one scheme may not really succeed. There was an attempt earlier where several important schools of architecture and planning took it up as a project, took Dharavi up as a project and gave solutions wherein the existing residents can be accommodated and their place of work can be designed within the existing houses. For instance, one of the solution was that the windows in the multi-storied building would be designed in such a way that they could open, instead of opening like this, they would open like this, up and down opening shutters, and they could be adjusted in such a way that the parpets would be kept on the glass of the window after cleaning it, and the sun rays would fall on such window which are jutting out, and the parpets could be dried. There was also a solution which was attempted where the potter's wheel would be commonly kept on every floor, wherein the pots could be made and there could be a kiln at the ground level or a basement level where the pots could be baked, and so the daily livelihood can take place, and at the ground level there could be small little stalls through which the pottery can be sold and the clay work can be sold. So unless such innovative solutions are thought about, Dharavi can never be thought as one cap fits all. And so if a tender for 50,000 houses and 60,000 houses are done, I do not think that the Dharavi experiment will succeed. The government has now cancelled the earlier tenders and plans to start afresh. Now, when they start afresh, they should think in terms of what the people of Dharavi want. There should be a dialogue between the residents of Dharavi and those who are responsible for making the scheme. And I'm sure out of give and take of thoughts, a solution will emerge. And once the solution emerges and the people accept the solution, then tenders can be called, contractors can be called for bidding, financiers can come in. All this is at a later stage. So if you're doing a solution to the problems of Dharavi, please consult the people of Dharavi. With this is Chandrasekhar Prabhu bidding you au revoir, promising you to be back with more such posts. Please respond to our posts, give your opinion, and we shall come back with more posts of problems and solutions for the people of Mumbai. Bye for now.